Hey YouTube, Wisconsin Weekend Warrior here, and today I'm going to be going over my whitetail deer setup. Ignore the beer gut. Haven't been to the gym. But this year I am going to be running my same bow that I've always ran, which is a Cabela's Guide Series. This one specifically was made by PSE. I have it set up with a Cobra single pin sight that can move up and down. So it's a single pin cantilever like most of them. All I do is there's a little dial here, loosen that, and I can move it up or down. Which I'm actually going to be putting it on my 15-yard pin. I should probably back that off actually, and also get a 10-yard. But 15 yards is pretty standard. It works good. I have a D-loop and a peep. I forget what size peep, but this bow is really accurate. It's old, set to 60 pounds, which I've had zero issue getting pass-throughs with. This bow used to be my grandfather's, so I'm going to hunt with it until I can't. And so far, all I've had to replace is the strings. It's light, it works, it shoots well. It's not the fastest thing on the market. It's definitely an older bow, but it gets the job done every single time. And as long as I keep up with my maintenance on it, it'll treat me well. As for a release this year, I'm shooting a True Fire, just blue oxidized, just spring, no clips this year. Last year I was running one where you had to lock it in. This is real quiet, and it's just, and then you're on your D-loop. I've had zero issues with this, besides it adding a little bit of black, I don't know if you guys can see that, to my D-loop, which is white. But other than that, I've had zero issues with it. My quiver this year, and last year, is, I don't even know how to read that, Boeing? Looks like B-O-H-N-I-N-G. 4 arrows. Right now I have my hunting arrows in it, which is, you know, what you should have in here. I also use it to carry a field point, just in case you see a squirrel or a rabbit or something like that. That way I can smack it with the field point. But I will go over my archery setup, or my arrow setup. So a little bit of context for that. I ground hunt for whitetails. I do not get in tree stands with my bow often and or at all. So I have a lot of difficult shot angles that I might have to take, including, you know, frontals, quartering to, stuff like that, or shots where the deer will see me and it'll be jumpy and they could flinch and jump the string, duck, whatever. So I went heavy this year because of that, and my shot distance is anywhere from 5 yards, which is where I shot my buck last year, all the way up to about 20. 25 maybe if I'm up in BR, which is one of the public lands I hunt. So this year, last year I was shooting methods at 560 grains with a Slick Trick Viper on them. I should have grabbed them. I'm sorry I didn't. Great arrow setup. I had no complaints. But I hadn't hit a deer in the shoulder with it. So this year I switched. Oh, that and Method went out of business, and they were not selling ready to hunt arrows. And I wasn't going to go through the hassle of, you know, A, building my own arrows, or B, paying somebody to build my arrows for me. If I'm buying arrows, I'm building ready to hunt arrows, which is what these are. These are the Sirius Supernova 250 spine, 586 total arrow weight with my broadhead. My broadhead of choice is the Magnus single bevels, 150 grain. Out of the package, they're pretty sharp. I could definitely, you know, sharpen them up and get them to be a razor's edge. Pack of 3 will run you about 50 bucks. As for, you know, single bevels, they are probably one of the most economic. They are not insanely expensive, and they're not a cheap piece of junk. Magnus's warranty is absolutely amazing. I also have their, what is it, the Viper? No, Stinger, Magnus Stinger, that my girlfriend is going to be shooting this year. Out of a lighter arrow setup. She's only pulling like 40 pounds, so I figured that Stinger will be perfect. So with this arrow, you might think, it's slow, and you'd be correct. This arrow is going very slow. I don't need the trajectory where I hunt. I don't need the speed where I hunt, because I'm not lobbing, or I'm not trying to shoot my arrows out to 30 yards and past. Can I shoot 30 yards? Yes, I can. Do I have my new sight tape at 30 yards? No, it's been super windy here, so I do not have that yet, but I'm working on it. Right now I have out to 25 yards, and I can hit very consistency with my 25 yards. And if you can see here, my lines are not that far apart. You got 15, 25, or 15, 20, and 25, so 5-yard increments. With a faster arrow, could I get those closer? Sure. But like I said, I have no need for it. I don't shoot far. I am not a big proponent of shooting far. But these arrows that I custom built I had custom built with the fletchings, the white and pink fletchings. Pink because it stands out, and because real men wear pink. And white because it just looks cool when it goes through a deer, and you can have white fletchings that are dyed red. And if anybody is looking into serious archery, their field points, not just their arrows are absolutely amazing, but their field points, this is 150 grain field point, obviously matching my broadheads, and it's got a gasket on it, meaning when I twist this in to a point about, and to a point right about there, it starts getting tight, where it's, it's a little bit more friction. And what this does, also they just seat perfectly. What this does is, on a lot of targets that I've shot, I've had my field points back out on me, or I've noticed they get wiggly, and I don't like that. These do not have that. I don't have to do anything with these. I pull them out of my target and I just keep shooting. I've had zero issues with them backing out. I've had zero accuracy issues with them. Nothing like that. So I've had no issues, no complaints with anything with this bow or this arrow setup. Sorry, I just noticed a little thing fell out right there. I'm sure that's just a label. I'm not too worried about it. Literally just a label. Most likely right there just fell out. It's probably on the ground here somewhere. Or somewhere. It's definitely somewhere. But yeah, I'm going to keep this video kind of short. I'm going to have a short of these Magnus single bevels going through a milk jug coming up. It's a terrible test. It is not a real representation. English is hard. Of what an actual deer or actual blood trail will be, or penetration or anything like that.